This week, officials moved to extend the closure of the US-Canada land border until March 21st, which will mark a full year of suspended land movement between the two countries. The border first closed on March 21st, 2020, and the order has been extended each month since. A joint decision was made to extend the US-Canada land border non-essential travel restrictions to prevent the further spread of COVID-19, the Department of Homeland Security tweeted on Friday, adding that it is also working to ensure essential trade and travel remain open. Americans have been unable to visit Canada since early 2020 because of coronavirus restrictions, although Canadians have been permitted to enter the United States, which has a higher COVID-19 rate, by air. As the pandemic has dragged on, however, exemptions to the ban have been created for a select few groups of Americans who are able to visit Canada for reunification. The only other types of entry permitted are for long-term work or education visas. Some high-profile Americans have recently been seen taking advantage of both programs during the pandemic. NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers made headlines recently for visiting fiancée Shailene Woodley in Montreal in quarantine for 2 weeks while she was filming a movie in the area, according to E! Canada. Comedian Chelsea Handler has also shared on social media that she is in Canada for winter for work purposes. People with family or significant others in Canada might be wondering if they too could travel to Canada despite the border closure and new quarantine and testing requirements. Here's what officials say qualifies for an exemption of the rule. Canadian border officials note that all visitors, regardless of their travel exemptions, must follow the health protocols. New variants of the coronavirus recently moved Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to impose new quarantine restrictions and testing requirements for entry that went into effect on February 15th and 21st. The Canada Border Services Agency, CBSA, told the Washington Post in an email that while it cannot comment on individual cases for border crossing exemptions, there are specific border measurements with regards for foreign nationals who are an immediate family member of a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and are seeking to enter Canada. The agency says there is also a process to reunite with an immediate family member who is a non-resident and in Canada temporarily. Immediate family members include a spouse or a partner of at least 1 year, a dependent child or grandchild, a parent or step-parent, or a guardian for a minor. Canada has also developed processes to allow pre-approval of travelers attempting to enter Canada for compassionate reasons, which include visits to hospitals and funerals, as well as long-term care facilities like nursing home or hospice centers, allowing visits. Individuals must submit a signed letter of required support or proof of death, as well as any necessary site visit authorizations to visit funerals or care centers, according to the Border Authority. Fabricating these reasons or documents are punishable under Canada's Quarantine Act by up to 6 months in prison and $750 in fines. Exceptions are not just for immediate family members, and they can also be granted to extended family members of Canadian citizens and permanent residents, including those in long-term exclusive relationships, according to officials. In October 2020, Canada relaxed the terms for family members or significant others of Canadians to cross the border for family visits. Those terms allow for Canadians' spouses, children, grandchildren, and partners in an exclusive dating relationship who have been in the relationship for at least 1 year to enter for visits as long as they test negative before arrival and quarantine for 14 days upon entry. For those who still have not been able to enter Canada for over a year, U.S. Representative Susan DelBene is leading a joint call in Congress for the Biden administration to reach new terms for a Canadian border reopening. Minimizing the risk presented by COVID-19 and prioritizing the safety of our communities remains of utmost importance. While the US and Canada work to overcome this public health crisis, 7 members of Washington's state congressional delegation, led by Delbene, wrote, however, as we approach 1 year of restricted travel, individuals, families, businesses, and communities on both sides of the border have been significantly impacted by these restrictions.